What up, my podcast people?
Hey, friends. Welcome back to Motherhood Unhinged, all things Christ, coffee, and the chaos. My name's Chandra.
Courtney.
And Chelsea.
And we're here to celebrate Father's Day. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to dive into a little bit of a mom's viewpoint of fatherhood. Things that drive us nuts, things that they do that we absolutely love, and just all the things.
All the things. All the tings. Or maybe the tings we don't know. Because we didn't have a dad.
So I think the first thing we'll start into is how dads parent different than moms.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Why don't you kick it off, Chelsea?
All right. Well, let's see. I think we've touched base on it a little bit on the other one. I think, or maybe this was, I actually don't remember if this was in the first one or not. So if I'm repeating myself, my apologies. I think it's just, like I said, I think it's just ingrained for them to be a provider. So sometimes I think they just truly don't understand that we are the default button. We are the ones that, when we plan vacations, we have to figure out where the kids are going to go. If we want a date night, we have to figure out where the kids are going to go. We got to figure out where the dog goes. We have to make sure the household's taken care of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think it's just, and then I also feel like when you have those conversations with them, they tend to get a little frustrated or a little feel attacked, I think is the best way to say it, because they feel like you're not saying it to be mean. You're just saying it because it's kind of factual. And instead of them understanding it, they kind of just are like, I would. You just didn't ask.
Totally.
Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Trent and I just had this talk the other day because he's just a busybody. He's a go-getter, a provider for sure. Has a side job, does some stuff, and that keeps him pretty busy. And I was just kind of talking about how, like, I don't have that, I guess. And so I'm around 24/7. Mm-hmm. Langston needs me. He's got me. And Trent will leave. Well, I just feel like sometimes it's a little bit unfair, for lack of better words. But Trent doesn't totally understand that. He's like, well, if you had somewhere to be, I'd watch him.
100%.
I'm like, I get that. I'm not saying you wouldn't. But I don't have a reason to not be gone. Like, I think I can count on one hand how many times I've been gone. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where it's when we have something to do, we have to ask, versus when they want to leave, they are just like, I got something to do, I gotta go.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
I know, like, when Josh goes to work, it's like he's going to work to do his thing. But when I go to work at my businesses, I'm like rushing back so I can come back to the role and the job of motherhood. And it's like, I just want to be able to take my time and do my things. And, you know, I do my work at night after the kids go to bed, where, like, he gets to go to work, clock in, and do it then, you know?
Yeah.
But dads are dads, and we definitely have them in our children's lives for a reason. I know everybody's dad experiences in life and, like, their...
or lack thereof.
is a whole different, you know, scenario. I think all three of us, something we all have in common is, like, Chelsea didn't grow up, like, directly with your bio dad, but you did recently, like, what, 5 years ago, go out there?
So that would be a deep dive. Pretty much what happened is I bounced around between my bio dad and bio mom for several years. I think pretty much until 7th grade. But my aunt was always involved because it was just not stable at all. So she pretty much stepped in when she could. And then my mom would get mad that she's taking me over, and then she'd go back and blah, blah, blah. It was just a big mess. But so I kind of knew him, but I never like knew him, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Didn't really have a relationship.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's sad now that I think back on it, because I remember wanting that relationship with him really, really bad. And there was always good times, but then there was always, you know, it doesn't necessarily make up for the times that they weren't there. Like, never showed up to, like, school activities or doing things like that. But I remember, like, every now and then he'd take me to ride dirt bikes and stuff like that. So that was really fun. But yeah, as far as, like, a stable father figure, it really didn't happen until 7th grade when I moved in with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle kind of took that role. But
We'll have to do a whole episode over, because, like, I remember you went out there and met his family, right?
Who? My dad?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so his this is a mess, but my grandma, his mom, was always really involved as much as she could be. So I knew her and his dad also. So I knew most of the family over there, and I saw them when I could, but it was really just, just wasn't stable. That's really what it boiled down to, is it just not have that stable home life like a lot of people you see around here.
So we had
Chelsea
a stable
knows what
home
it's
life,
like,
but we just I think we're more cared for and had more presence from our stepdad.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately we lost him last year. So like that was a big hit. As far as that goes, because like that father figure being present, like that's, I think, a most important part. That's the part kids are gonna remember
100%.
is who was there.
Yeah.
You have anything more you want to speak on that?
No, I totally agree with you. Like, and I want to go back and talk about my husband real quick, because like he is a killer dad.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I think all of our husbands are
How about
killer
we
dads.
address the fact that, well, this is how I feel, and I'm pretty sure probably in your situation too.
Here we go.
Not the baby stage yet. The dads, I think that's actually one of my topics. Let's see here.
Don't mind her.
Why is he the fun parent and I'm the one with the roles?
Ooh. Well, me and Brandon kind of just talked about this a little bit the other day, touched base on it, and he got a little offended. He's like, "What do you mean? I also have rules." I'm like, "Yeah, but you see how the kids like always want you to do the fun stuff, and then they're always..."
We're not there yet. Langston's a baby, and I mean, Trent has him. I leave the room, he's upset. I have him. Trent leaves the room, he's upset.
But you're
So
saying he's a great dad.
we're equals. Oh, we are.
But where were you going with that line?
Because at first I was talking about how like parenting isn't always 50-50.
Oh,
like,
yeah. For
Trent
sure.
has things to go do. So I just wanted to like revert back and be like, in no way was I saying like that I'm the better parent.
Right?
Because
No,
I
don't
was-
think. Yeah,
I was
I
just
didn't get
reverting
that.
back a little bit, covering up my tracks.
The whole like roles thing. It's like I have standards and roles, and like I expect him to abide by that. Like same routines every day. Like
I think it also makes a huge difference that we're the rule makers in a sense, because we have them just 90% of the time. I mean, if we didn't have rules, they'd run the entire
Yeah.
household as if they don't already. It's just, it'd be, I guess, 100 times more chaotic if we didn't have rules. I mean,
if we ever have disagreement, I think that's one of the things. Is like, well, you make the rules, or like you're the one deciding stuff, and it's like because I'm
here.
the parent
Trent
all the
always
time.
thinks that he's gonna be the rule maker or the discipliner. We've had this talk, and I'm like, you are such a softie. There is no discipline coming from you. But we'll see. We'll see.
So, and that's a really, okay, so my question to you guys, well, I guess not so much the baby stage yet,
was
which
gonna say.
some things you might be thinking about now, but for you with older kids, do you ever feel, I
You
actually
just
was,
laughed before you said that, so I'm scared.
I'm laughing because I literally, I had it in my head and now I'm losing it and I'm trying to go back to it.
Blooper number one.
Yeah, like, where was I trying to go with this? I guess parenting styles. Do you feel like your parenting style is different than Josh's?
I
Like
do.
where you guys have had to really come together and either
Yes, because
compromise
Josh,
or
from the get-go, I think is like, you pick your battles. Like, and I absolutely not.
you're a warrior, dude.
Like-
I don't think she's just like,
I do
no,
not
it's
pick my
mine.
battles. We are the parent. They're not going to know expectations for this world and like the right and the wrong if they're not guided. And so I'm definitely like, that's wrong. This is right. Like, this is how we're going to do things to make it smooth. Because nowadays, if I do let it roll, you know, roll with it like he's chosen to do sometimes, then something will happen and I'll be like, maybe if you would have done it mom's way, we wouldn't be doing this, right?
Oh, and she's the one to say, I told you so.
Yes. And
Yep.
they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, we wouldn't be going 2 steps back and we could have been forward already if we weren't doing this.
So are you talking
The wrong
about,
way.
so in my head, when he says pick your battles, is that like for bigger subjects? Because in my head, when I say I pick my battles, like if they want to look goofy because they want to pick their outfit and they look funny, I'm just going to be like, that's a battle I'm not choosing to pick. If that's what you want to wear it.
I picked that battle
Oh,
because
see?
like I cannot
Mommy.
do like, I cannot send my kid to school. Well, I cannot send my kid to school with a sock that's a half calf and a sock that's a no-show.
God, you would
Nope.
hate to see my kids go
Nope.
to school. Chelsea's kids look
I
homeless.
started laundry with them and folding at a young age so that they can know like what it's like. Plus to help, like it's so chaotic
Oh,
if I
100%.
don't have their help.
I like that.
And I'm like, match your socks. It's
Apologies.
match your socks. It's not that hard. So when I see them come up in the mornings, I'm like, no, go change it. And it's only literally 5 seconds to do the right thing that I asked them to do prior. So now, like, if they have to redo it, I'm like, we shouldn't be doing this. Or like I have them pick out Monday through Friday, and it's like easy. But then it'll take them 20 minutes to come out of their room, and I'm like, your clothes are already picked out. What is taking so long? It's a battle. And dads don't deal with that part, you know? So God love him. My husband, he's the grill master. He is a great provider. We'll pick the kids up, like do all that stuff. But I think definitely discipline and the roles comes down to me.
And okay, so here's another touchy subject, and if you don't want to get into it, it's fine. But I've learned with my husband, he was raised well, obviously I was not raised in a normal setting, which for normal people. But with him, I feel like he was raised completely different. So when we were out together, and like even with Bentley, I learned new things with Brandon, but especially with our own kids and him being able to have, it's not like he hasn't had an opinion on parenting ever since we got together. It's not like I never was like, well, you can't discipline, you can't do this. Mm-hmm. But to have your own kids and to have complete freedom versus, I feel like he always had to tiptoe sometimes because he wasn't bio dad.
Right.
But I've learned that his parenting style, and it's rubbed off on me, but he's like, he was never spanked as a kid, not once. His parents kind of gave him a lot of freedom that I never had. And I'm like, that's how you, like, what are we doing with our kids? And like Bentley, when he was younger, he did have some discipline and had a couple swattings, not many. Maverick never has, and neither has Evie thus far. Obviously she's 2, but I don't see it going further. But Brandon's just always like, I mean, I just don't agree. I don't think that spanking somebody is going to change what they do. It's just going to scare them, and that's it. You're not teaching them anything.
I think that's a big topic right now too.
It is. I mean, because obviously there's a big difference between swatting your kids on the butt and literally abuse.
Yeah,
so
there's a difference.
Yeah. There's a big difference. And I'm not, like I said, I've had to kind of change my parenting style because I was always kind of for the swattings. Like, if you don't listen to me, you're going to get swatted. Mm-hmm. And then being with Brandon, it's a different parenting style now. And I think I'm just curious of what your feelings are.
I feel like we were kind of neutral. Like, we were in between. Like, I mean, I remember getting swatted a time or two.
Oh, I was beat.
I was swatted all the time. And that's exactly,
because
like, me and Josh still do that.
Because Chandra's mouth.
Oh, who would have guessed her
Right?
mouth got her in trouble?
I'm surprised my lips look this good because I got smacked in the mouth a few times.
Yeah, I did.
So I feel like we were pretty neutral. I didn't get it a ton, but like, even though that happened, I feel like the way our parents disciplined us, like the respect that I feel like we grew up having and knowing is just totally different than
working with pediatrics and seeing different age groups the last like 5 years. There's a huge difference between kids who have been reprimanded and demanded respect with their parents versus kids who have not.
Right. Now, I think demanding respect can come in many forms. I don't think you have to swat to get respect.
Yeah.
I think you can have several different punishments to get that.
There's a little bit of a disconnect in like socially, and it's like, I feel like the kids who the parents don't demand the respect from or like demand the expectations from are more of like secluded, the electronic kids, you know, the tech people that like just completely
more of a passive
disconnect.
parent, more of a like, I don't want to deal with this right now.
So the kids just kind of pacify their time with other things, and it's like you're completely disconnected from life.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big thing. And I think a lot of the times as mothers, we put the discipline on the dads.
Yeah.
And I think
100%. I always remember wait until in my situation, it was wait until Mark gets home. Wait until your uncle gets home.
Trent and I just had this talk last night. He'd be like, it'd be one thing for mom to reprimand me. But he's like, when we got the phrase, you just wait till your dad gets home. He's like, totally different ball game. He's like, you're shaking in your boots.
So I think like in today's society, I think it's kind of like mothers are actually becoming more of also that discipliner.
I agree.
You know, it has to be because
you have to
nowadays, like
there's a lot of
there's a big demand.
There's a lot of stay-at-home moms.
We'll revisit this when I don't have a 10-month-old. I'll let you know how it goes.
That, and then we'll deep dive into like disciplinary things and like what you've seen on the medical side of it. Like we'll go more into it, but just touching the dad side of it, I just think it's interesting that how you grow up really does kind of formed to a certain extent, whether you go to one extreme or not, like the twin theory where you can have twins come from an alcoholic parent and one of them goes the complete opposite and is like, dude, I'm never going to be like them. And another one follows the exact same footsteps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Yeah. So that's why I brought that up.
Another topic that is something that I think would be great to talk about is what is one thing you wish your kid's dad knew? So like your husband's. What is one thing you wish your husband's knew basically about motherhood?
Do you have a thing in your head ready? Because I have to think about that for a second. What would I want Brandon to know?
I just kind of wish there was a way to do like the body swap in like a day in the mom life.
I think, sometimes, I think Brandon kind of got a little bit of that when I went to Taylor's bachelorette party and I was gone for 3 days. I think that's really the only way that they're really going to like, to a certain degree, understand what you do because you're not there to do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which is apparently they order a lot of DoorDash when I'm gone.
Gotta survive.
Bentley has tattled so many times. I'm like, you guys don't cook at all? And he's like, Dad just kind of orders DoorDash. I'm like, must be nice because when I want to order DoorDash, it's like, well, there's a lot of fees. Okay. Yeah. Next time I'm ordering DoorDash.
And it's like a whole different scenario when you're taking care of kids, switching laundry, picking up, like taking care of the kids,
making sure your toddler doesn't fall down and
cooking. Mm-hmm. It's a long time in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think it's just the overall responsibility that I wish he knew because, as much as you have the baby and all of their needs and that necessity, the household, I sometimes don't know that things would get done around there if it weren't for me. So I bring it all together collectively, and I just wish maybe one day he'll realize like the weight of all of that.
Yeah.
But
and at the same time, maybe they won't, but
here's another funny one. I'm just going to say diaper. He changes one diaper and deserves a medal. Dads deserve all the praise. And yesterday was Father's Day and we gave him exactly that. And every day we're so thankful. So let's not I want to reiterate that.
Right.
But this is just a funny, comical conversation about dads and motherhood combined.
Oh, 100%.
But is it not funny how they're like, well, I did this and this. And it's like,
okay,
but I do that every day. And I'm just... So sometimes me and Josh will joke and we'll send each other a list of what we do. Just so we can be like, here you go.
Just so I can have ammunition. Yeah, that's what that is.
A one-upper.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's funny. It's like, it's all out
and
of
this
love.
is all lighthearted. We're just, we're not trying to attack anybody. And to go back to that, I think, and that's just where the roles come in. I think you figure out your role in a relationship, especially in a marriage and children, that unfortunately, like I said, we're the default and, they'll pick up the slack when you ask them to, which
100%.
is absolutely wonderful and grand. But I think it's just little things, just like I'm sure one of these days they'll be on here telling all of our secrets and what we do and don't do. Because there's been a lot of times I'm guilty of not finishing the laundry or he's looking for socks in the morning. He's like, what? Where's the socks? And I'm like,
it's your job to figure out where the socks are.
Right. And, I've taken that responsibility for a long time. I was a stay-at-home mom, which I guess we can kind of go in there. The last 2 years I was a stay-at-home mom. So a lot of things that I should have probably been doing.
We'll talk about that too on our next episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot.
She's jumping ahead.
Jumping ahead, guys. Sorry. But yeah, I think it's just, I don't know where I was going with that. My apologies. You're saying this in real time, people. I defer off path and then I lose everything. So.
That's okay. We love you anyways.
No, you don't.
But yes, we do. So no matter if you're uncle, bio dad, stepdad, I think like they're all completely 100% a key vital part of the family life. And like our pastor said yesterday, the husband or the man's role is to be the strength and the foundation.
Oh yeah.
And I think all three of ours do that very, very, very well.
Oh yeah. Especially, as they get older. I know, how old is Jordan? 11?
He'll be 11.
Okay. So he's getting old enough now to be able to really do things like mow lawns and have bigger responsibilities.
Josh tries to do that and I'm terrified to let him on there.
Yeah. Bentley hasn't been on the zero turn just yet, but I told Brent, but that's something.
If I had a flat lot, fine, but I have a hill with a lake.
The hills are
scary.
really
I'm terrified
scary.
he's going to go right into the lake.
Yeah, that's almost like a push mower
Trent's like,
Hey, why
if
don't
you
you
don't
do
let
the
him
push
on
one
there,
up
you'll never learn.
Yeah, Trent's like, I was on a tractor driving down the road by myself at 10 years old.
Yeah, I've seen videos on TikTok of a kid literally plowing a field by himself in this big tractor. So it's doable. I think you just have to be a lot more conscious, like aware. And like when he's on there, you just got to pay attention. You got to be outside. I mean, really, you kind of just have to make sure you're paying attention. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to go do the laundry.
I can pay attention, but then what do you do if it's going downhill? Literally downhill.
You teach them jump off.
Yeah.
Abandon ship, baby. Jump off that motor.
I'm way more of a helicopter mom than I ever thought that I would be. That's scary.
That's the thing about dads that I think that's what they're built for, because I can't like that. First off, my patience is very thin when it comes to teaching something like that.
Yeah.
Like he's taught Bentley how to weedy, and then he'll come to me and be like, it is my responsibility. I have to teach this, both my boys that they have to do these things. Like this is a dad's role.
I
This
definitely
is a father's
think
role.
it's different too for dads of boys. Like they want to prepare them to be these strong,
Yes.
manly individuals. You know what I mean?
And a big thing that Brandon's on right now is even if you don't want to do it, you have to do it. It's not going to go away. So you're just going to have to suck it up and get it done. And, he's had that talk with me a couple times before.
I tell that to Josh all
Brandon.
the time. I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I still have to do it.
Yeah.
As a mom, I still got to do it. Like,
Sometimes I've slacked, and he's had to kind of check me, which I appreciate him for, even though I really want to tell him to that sometimes. But, I will give him credit there. He will get it done regardless of how tired he is. If something's got to get done, he's got to get done. And that's what I really appreciate him teaching our boys, because that's a big role in a family. I mean, even in the Bible, it tells you like God comes first, then it's the man, then it's the woman, then it's the children. Like that's how it's supposed to go. The man rules the house. And I think that a lot of women, maybe not a lot of women, there are some women I've seen that don't respect that role.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me. I mean, we have our arguments and our disagreements, but overall, I mean, he's the one over the household. That's my opinion. I mean,
They talked a lot about that at church yesterday, just about like how fatherhood can be like generational. If you're a good dad and then you teach them this way, then they go on to be a good dad and so on and so forth. And I don't know. I thought yesterday was powerful. It wasn't even about me as a mom, like just talking about the dads. And I was like,
but it puts it in perspective for you.
When we left, I told Trent, I'm like, that was so good.
Yeah.
Like
I said yesterday was really good too. We didn't get to go to the same church yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you went to Perryville, I went to Capes, but it was great.
All right, I'm going to cut this. My camera's annoying. When we get professional, start paying us, Spotify and Apple, and then we can get a professional camera that'll just shut off. Just, and we're back.
So like I was saying, we didn't get to go to the same church yesterday, but the message essentially was the same, and I thought it was great. Are you going to go to Surge at the end of the month?
it sounds so cool, and I want to.
They have childcare.
I gotta check with my work schedule.
Yeah, it's in the evening, Saturday night and Sunday night, the 28th and 29th. So Chelsea, if you want to join us, it'll be Surge at the church.
What is Surge?
There's gonna be like this huge empowerment chat with Nathan Morris, I think is his name.
And when is this, Thursday? You said
No,
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday. Well, I'll be out in Murfreesboro.
So baseball.
Mm-hmm. Those evenings though, if you're back in time, it's like 6:30.
But the
we'll see.
topic over this past month, 2 months, has been, as for me and my house, how to raise a family in a week, how to raise a strong family
in a weak world.
And it has been so good. But
that's a lot of pressure on dads because I feel like that's mainly on them. And that's why, I mean, they have studies of like households that haven't had dads, you know, and then these, you know, boys grow up to not have good lives or, you know, criminal record and all that. I mean, dads impact a lot. And I think that not only do they need to take the role seriously, but people need to respect it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you have some moms who raise their kids independently.
Yeah.
Like we have a really good friend who does that. So like we're going to bring her on the podcast at a later time and she'll get to talk to all of you guys and how you fulfill both roles.
Yeah.
And so I actually sent her a happy Father's Day, Mother's Day yesterday, just because she's fulfilling every role of the father and the mother. And so
that's
kudos
tough. Single,
to them.
Single moms, single dads. I mean, it's rough. I could not imagine. I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, was there any, what
I
else?
think we kind of hit all the topics. So
pretty much dads just deserve recognition and we need to, even though we want to really sometimes
Sometimes you don't want to give them that. No, I'm just kidding. They're great. They're wonderful.
I mean, they really are. They deserve all the praise in the world. I mean, yesterday I'm such a softie. You know what? Having kids has really ruined my emotional state.
Oh, I was crying during the video at church yesterday.
I cry about everything. When I was posting about Brandon yesterday, I was just like,
it was different dads
and it's
that were
so
like
funny
walking their
because
baby
I
down
shed
the
some
aisle.
tears yesterday. I don't even know that my husband knows that.
Did you see the video?
No.
At church?
Yeah, it was so good. But
The moment that girl was walking down the aisle with her dad, I'm like, we're going to have to do that with our two. Like, that's 20 years from now. But I'm still, like, sad about it already.
yeah. But just going through, like, what we go through with our relationship with our dad, like, I think we were in the car after the other day played out, and I did look over at Trent, and I said, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Like, God bless. Don't get emotional.
It's okay.
It's okay. You can shed a tear.
I said, I am just so thankful that Langston has you. Like, he will never have to know what it's not like to have a dad who's there. You know
Oh my
what I
gosh,
mean?
we're all gonna get emotional. Shut up! Don't say nothing about it, because I'm about to get emotional. And
know what I
also,
mean?
100%. And like with my boys, I obviously feel the same way, but I think it hits me just a little bit harder with Evie because I'm a woman that didn't have a dad, and so when I see, here we go. Hold on a minute.
Where's
so
the
when
tissue?
Yeah,
The box was right there.
when I see Brandon having a relationship with her and doing all these things, and we joke about it all the time because I have a morbid sense of humor. But he'll be like, he'll be like, oh, look, I get to do all the things that your parents didn't do with you. And I'm like, you do. And so I'll say stupid stuff like that too. It's not just him. Don't roast him for that. I do it too. But, and then it really hits me like later on, like truly I get to see him growing up with her. Like I would have wanted to grow up with my dad. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
And I couldn't have picked a better partner for sure.
I know. They might drive us nuts. They may not totally understand the workload of it all. They may not do everything just the way that we do it or how we want them to do it. But I would not choose anybody else.
Oh, no.
Like Langston has the best dad.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it makes me like emotional because like I think about those daddy-daughter connections, the daddy-daughter dance at the weddings, the walking down the aisle, the Sunday barbecues, like all that stuff. And I just think like how different I wish my experience was with
100%.
that father figure. And I think that I feel it's like a loss, you know, like there's
Truly.
somebody there's somebody alive, yet the absence is so very strong, you know? And so it's like grieving something that's there, but not there.
100%.
And I know like I get emotional because I think about how like strongly like Stan was a part of our life, which is our stepdad who we lost to leukemia last March. But like I get emotional because I think Ivy and like my kiddos don't have that grandfather figure like on my side. And it's like Josh's grandfather and dad are like so super supportive and so super helpful. And we're so thankful for them. But it's like I don't have that on my side. Like we have our great grandpa who's also struggling with lung cancer. And so he's down and out. And it's like, but I want that active.
Yeah. We're kind of the same way because my husband, Trent, his dad passed in 2020 and then my stepdad passed in 23. And so like my dad
24.
is 24. Sorry. Time is going by so fast.
No, seriously.
We're halfway through 25 and I can't even.
No.
But so then we have our dad who is kind of MIA most of the time. And so I'm like, Langston really doesn't know what it's like to have that like hands-on grandpa. And like that does hurt me really bad. Like it's one thing to miss out on me, but at this point I'm kind of used to it. But now seeing
your
it
kid.
happen to Langston, I'm like, oh, you don't even want that relationship with him, it seems like. And that just really kind of sucks. But I am huge on if they want to, they will.
100%.
If you want to know about him, you'll call.
You'll call.
If you want to see him, you'll ask.
Yep.
Like I'm not a chaser.
You're not
like,
a babysitter.
No.
So I think this is a big moment to say dads be present, be there. Because like not only are you affecting your daughters or sons, but you're also affecting that next generation.
100%.
And that's a learning curve. Like this is their foundational moments for them to learn how they need to be in their life.
100%. And I think for me as a mom, I'm sure you guys can relate, but just looking at our kids, I cannot understand how you wouldn't want to be involved. Just, I don't get it. And I never will.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
we can't
times.
celebrate you if you're not there.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the best feeling ever, I know your kids are in sports, but once Langston gets in sports, you'll get it. Or just any activity.
Yeah.
Where you can, they just light up. I don't know how you'd miss that. You see them progressing in something they truly like. I don't know. I'm going to start crying. Hold on. But just seeing them look for you and like, I don't know.
They look for you to be like, hey,
Yes.
Mom, hey, Dad.
Yep.
My
did you
kids
see
are always
what I
like,
just-
is so-and-so
Yes.
coming?
Yes.
Is so-and-so coming? And it's like, yeah, I sent
Yeah.
the message, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, that's what they care about the most.
100%.
And being present, like, we can be strong individuals and give this persona that something doesn't bother us, but, like, we hurt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we have a sense of loss. We have this pain, and, you know, we just try and go about it. And, like,
What are you
You
supposed to
do
do?
what you got to do for your
there's
kids.
nothing we can do about it. Like, we can't change somebody's actions and,
No.
and words and ways that they are. And so I am just so happy we all got to celebrate the dads for us that are present and the dads that
Are just
father
really
our
rocking it.
children.
Truly.
And yeah.
Really rocking it. I mean, they deserve all the praise in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah,
And
they
so
do.
thank you. And happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
And we're going to have a Father's edition with our hubbies come on here.
I cannot
and so
wait.
We can't wait for
Oh
that.
boy, you guys better be ready for that, because
They're going to roast us for sure.
oh yeah, you know what? This was lighthearted. They ain't gonna be so lighthearted. Okay, they're really gonna hit it.
For sure. But in the meantime, please share it on all of our platforms. We're currently up on Spotify, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're still trying to work the kinks out with Apple. I hope they get it together soon.
I don't know how you can talk to an Apple representative and they don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
So-
they're like, we don't know. We have no reports of any issues. And I'm like, well, there's blogs all over stating there's an issue. So, we're hoping we can get that fixed. But in the meantime, go check out all of our other platforms. Share this. We can't wait to connect with all the other moms and dads and everybody that's supporting all things motherhood, parenthood, dadhood, everything. So in the meantime, we are
Motherhood Unhinged.